I think that, I think that BBC are still a bit stuffy because they get complaints and, they're a sort of government body, so they fear complaints. But live, no, anything, it's just, no.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
So this is...
Well...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right.
In a candid and thought-provoking interview, comedian Ricky Gervais sat down with Joy Behar on The View to discuss the evolving landscape of comedy, political correctness, and the importance of freedom of speech. Known for his biting humor and willingness to challenge taboos, Gervais emphasized that offense is inherently subjective, as different people are offended by different things, and being offended does not automatically make someone right. Reflecting on his working-class upbringing, personal experiences with fame, and how humor has helped him cope with life's hardships, Gervais argued that comedy's role is to confront difficult or taboo topics rather than shy away from them. He highlighted that trying to please everyone is a losing battle, stressing that comedians must embrace the freedom to offend, as humor is vital for addressing sensitive issues and sparking meaningful conversations in society.
Ricky Gervais is back with his first stand-up special in 7 years, and this time he's taken on all of humanity. Please welcome back the fabulous and quite funny Ricky Gervais. So, before we get into what the special is about, the question everybody wanted me to ask you is, are you excited about the royal wedding?
You can't even say it with a straight face. Am I excited about the royal family?
Yeah.
No.
The royal wedding.
No, I'm not excited about it. Listen, I've got nothing against the royal family, but I don't like any of that sort of frivolous nonsense.
Right.
I actually know William and Harry. They've come to about 2 or 3 of my gigs, I mean, it's on every paper all the time. My news show, it's like, oh, no, I'm not interested at all.
I wonder,
Thanks for asking.
Just on the same subject, though, when I was in England trying to do stand-up there, you can't say anything about the Queen. They have a fit, and they won't laugh. Is that true when you do it?
No, not anymore.
Not my crowd.
Well, it was then.
No, I mean, I think that, I think that BBC are still a bit stuffy because they get complaints and, they're a sort of government body, so they fear complaints. But live, no, anything, it's just, no.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
So this is...
Well...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right.
In response to Joy Behar's question, Ricky Gervais explained that a key aspect of his comedic style is confronting taboos and delving into irony, even when it may not be universally understood or appreciated. He believes comedy should push boundaries and challenge societal norms, creating space for critical conversations about difficult or sensitive issues. Embracing the polarizing nature of his humor, Gervais sees it as an essential part of his craft, aiming to explore uncomfortable or controversial topics to take audiences to new, thought-provoking places, regardless of whether everyone finds it agreeable.
No, it's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? So you can't second-guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. So if you're saying anything, well, you should polarize. You should polarize because everyone's different. So,
but this year you didn't host, and do you miss the fact that this was the Weinstein year?
Oh, I was salivating. Honestly, I got an adrenaline rush thinking of what I could say and whether I'd have to go to jail. And I like that opportunity because I do like that. When there's a tension, when there's an elephant in the room, although he wasn't there this year. I do like that because I do like confronting that because I think it takes the audience to a place it hasn't been before, and it can be a mutual backslapping, fest, fine, but don't televise it, because I'm not doing it for the 200 egos in the room. I'm doing it for the 200 million people watching around who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires, who
don't care about winning the award.
Yeah.
That's right.
Humanity, which we mentioned, is your first comedy special in 7 years, and you say that it's the right time for it, the subject matter.
Yeah, well, I left it for 7 years, not on purpose. I was doing other things. I did a series, I did Derek, I did a couple of movies, and I pushed it back because I always thought that stand-up was like the second or third thing I did, whereas now I've changed my mind.
Ricky Gervais emphasized that comedy naturally polarizes, especially when it addresses sensitive or controversial subjects, and he views this as a natural outcome of speaking candidly. Citing his performances at the Golden Globes, where his sharp, politically incorrect humor often targeted celebrities and their perceived self-importance, Gervais acknowledged that such humor can provoke strong reactions. However, he embraces this dynamic, believing that comedy should challenge the status quo and confront uncomfortable truths. By tackling sensitive topics, Gervais aims to spark conversations and push boundaries, even if it means dividing audiences in the process.
Now it's my favourite thing. I could give everything else up because it's such a privilege, and freedom of speech is so important these days. And you've got to, you know, and I've reached the age now where I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? It's like,
welcome aboard,
what's the worst that can happen?
Welcome aboard.
I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
So I'm offended. I'm going to die. So what? You know, so...
You made enough money at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to care.
You know, I'm going to give that to animals anyway, just to see that look on my stupid family's face. Leave it all to animals.
When asked by Whoopi Goldberg about freedom of speech, Ricky Gervais passionately affirmed his unwavering support for it, particularly in the realm of comedy. He reflected on how, with age, he has become less concerned with others' opinions, feeling liberated to speak his mind without seeking universal approval. Gervais believes that comedy serves as a vital platform for open discussion, allowing comedians to address important issues candidly and provocatively. In today's climate, he views this freedom as more essential than ever, fostering honesty and challenging societal norms.
You talk about your family.
I do. This is the most personal. Again, I think for the same reasons. You know, I think that it's nice to look back and it's a celebration. I talk about my mum and dad and who aren't with us anymore, and jokes about the mum and mum's funeral. You know, because that's what I think that's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff. So it's a sin to joke about all the bad things. That's a waste, because that's exactly what we should joke about.
I also feel that when you talk about people who have gone to the next world, whatever that is, that you're keeping them alive in a way.
Well, yeah, they exist.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And, you know, I tell it, you know, there was a lot of truth, so I tell the truth, you know. It's not just this idealised view of your mum. You tell, you know, why... I remember when I was 12, I got older brothers and sisters, which is why I'm like I am, I suppose. I had to show off to be heard, right? And they're much older than me. They're like 11, 13 and 14 years older than me. And I remember when I was about 12, I said to my mum, why are my brothers and sisters so much older than me? And she said, you were a mistake.
And there you have it.
I just laughed.
You know, it's true, because sometimes it's also the way you can grieve. Because when my brother passed, I mean, when I started talking about it in my show, because it was like, I couldn't understand how he was more good-looking dead than I was alive.
That's great.
You know, I mean, and people were like, really? I was like, yeah, because you gotta keep, you have to keep talking. You know, you have to keep talking to stay present.
Absolutely, you know? Making part of the thing, and it is with affection. You know, I just think that it's like my mum would have loved it. You know,
and they're hilarious anyway.
Well, it's funny. Funny is funny.
Yeah.
Funny is funny. There's no time and a place for being funny. I know some things are sensitive, and you know, I think you have to respect that. And let's get this: I wouldn't be doing those jokes at someone else's mum's funeral.
I
do it at mine. You know, because I know that you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about your partner Jane, because I've met Jane. She's a lovely person. You've been with her for how many years? 35?
30 years. Yeah.
30 years.
30 years. Yeah.
Not married yet, though.
No.
You're never going to get married.
No.
He doesn't like any of that stuff.
There's no point.
Yeah. No, there's no, you know, we don't want our families to meet, and
But you've said that the key to a happy relationship is separate bathrooms, which I totally agree with.
That's a fact. Yeah.
And why is that?
One less argument, isn't it? So it's great. It's lovely to have your space, and no, it's brilliant. Yeah.
I know. I think so too. What about separate bedrooms now?
Oh no.
No.
Let's not get crazy, Joy.
Just
No, you're really active on Twitter. You have 13 million followers, and you love to engage with trolls. It's a fun pastime for you.
Yeah.
You post unflattering photos of yourself, which I think we have, mostly in the bath. What is it with your bath obsession? What's going on here?
I love a bath. I think it's because when I was little, a bath was like a luxury. You know, we could afford like, 2 a week each in the family. So now I think that's my luxury.
Now you're gluttonous, laying in the bath.
Honestly, my baths have got bigger and more luxurious. Yeah, I have 1 or 2 a day. And so I've got the iPhone. So I think, and it's great to look, you're in that position, and those are taken all around the world. There was Oslo, and I do a relevant, bath pick wherever I go.
They're very themed.
Do you think
They're very themed, yeah.
Do you think that growing up poor like you did, and I grew up in a tenement, Whoopi grew up in a project.
I was just in Iowa, so.
She's from Iowa, whatever. Do you think that makes you funnier?
Well, I think so, because that was the thing about growing up. I was born into poverty and like welfare housing, and my dad was a labourer, mum was a housewife, and I was the youngest of 4. But the point was to, pay your way, then have a laugh.
Yeah.
And, that was the men. The women carried on working, obviously.
Ricky Gervais openly shares personal stories about his family, particularly his late parents, using humor as a way to cope with grief. He sees humor as an essential tool for navigating life's hardships, including the loss of loved ones. Reflecting on his working-class upbringing, Gervais notes that humor was a vital survival mechanism in his family, helping them endure the challenges of poverty. He often injects humor into these memories, such as recalling his mother jokingly telling him he was a mistake due to the significant age gap between him and his older siblings. Through these anecdotes, Gervais underscores the healing power of laughter in difficult times. Whether addressing political correctness, confronting taboos, or advocating for freedom of speech, Gervais uses humor to tackle the tough and uncomfortable aspects of society. By sharing personal stories about family, fame, and grief, he highlights the therapeutic role of laughter and remains unapologetic about pushing boundaries, emphasizing that humor should be fearless, thought-provoking, and above all, honest.